Your word is proof. Your word is prank. Can you spell random? Can you spell rally? Spell pasta. Your word is power. Next up, state. Your word is human. All right, spell flower. The next word is meditate. The next word is integrity. Spell frolic. Spell anatomical. Can you spell overdue? Can you spell plethora? Spell gallant. Spell remarkable. Next up, broccoli. Next up, akin. Next up, albeit. Can you spell refrain? The next word is firefighter. All right, spell immobilize. All right, spell broccoli. Next up, lactose. The next word is diesel. Spell ideological. The next word is reliability. Can you spell propaganda? Spell hornswoggle. Spell epiphany. Epiphany. Next up, alphabet. Spell heresy. Can you spell frolic? Next up, bizarre. The next word is strategic. The next word is scrutiny. Spell remarkable. Spell gazebo. Can you spell queen? Can you spell pigeon? Can you spell dilate? The next word is gradual. All right, spell curious. Can you spell excellent? Can you spell breakthrough? Spell circle. Spell thesis. Spell debris. Your word is integrity. Spell uncomfortable. The next word is nonplussed. Next up, consumption. All right, spell accumulation. Can you spell translucent? The next word is special. The next word is tremendous. Your word is appetite. Next up, normal. The next word is embassy. Can you spell password? Can you spell dolphin? Spell tangerine. Next up, seldom. Can you spell syntax? Can you spell betray? The next word is transaction. Your word is automatic. Your word is akin. The next word is liable. Next up, furious. Your word is concentration. Spell obesity. Can you spell vague? Next up, lather. The next word is resilience. Next up, gallant. Your word is ionize. Can you spell rye? Next up, magnificent. Can you spell bamboo? The next word is semicircle. Spell abstract. Your word is walnut. All right, spell absence. Your word is window. Can you spell bayonet? Spell secret. The next word is meditate. Next up, armor. The next word is flavor. Can you spell center? Can you spell chronic? All right, spell cooking. Next up, lightning. Next up, burger. Next up, anatomical. The next word is agnostic. Next up, await. The next word is alliance. Your word is powder. Next up, congratulate. The next word is refugee. Your word is overdue. Spell villain. Your word is guideline. All right, spell formidable. Next up, crowd. Can you spell quill? The next word is 20. Next up, pursuit. Next up, familiar. Your word is voluntary. Your word is abolish. The next word is sniffle. Can you spell offender? All right, spell telepathy. Can you spell warrior? Next up, paradox. The next word is albeit. Can you spell oasis? Next up, probably. All right, spell chicken. Your word is subsidy. The next word is plethora. Can you spell bizarre? Your word is password. The next word is semicircle. Can you spell concentration? Spell pursuit. The next word is formidable. The next word is strategic. Your word is anatomical. Next up, broccoli. Next up, gallant. Your word is debris. Spell familiar. Next up, liable. Spell probably. Next up, appetite. All right, spell voluntary. Your word is dolphin. Your word is transaction. All right, spell syntax. The next word is uncomfortable. All right, spell overdue. Spell circle. Next up, furious. All right, spell chicken. Your word is breakthrough. The next word is center. The next word is seldom. Can you spell akin? Can you spell armor? Can you spell powder? Can you spell meditate? Can you spell queen? Spell frolic. Your word is sniffle. Spell tremendous. Next up, elaborate. Spell encore. Next up, sentimental. Spell caustic. Can you spell nonplussed? Can you spell lather? Can you spell guideline? Can you spell abolish? Next up, alphabet. Next up, immobilize. Spell walnut. Spell heresy. The next word is absence. Can you spell obesity? Your word is congratulate. All right, spell abstract. The next word is remarkable. Can you spell gazebo? All right, spell lightning. Can you spell agnostic? Your word is alliance. The next word is tangerine. The next word is flavor. The next word is quill. Next up, oasis. Oasis. Next up, diesel. Can you spell dilate? Dilate. Can you spell curious? All right, spell firefighter. The next word is crowd. Can you spell embassy? Spell gradual. Spell scrutiny. All right, spell warrior. Can you spell bamboo? Next up, lactose. All right, spell albeit. Your word is cooking. Your word is integrity. Your word is ionize. Can you spell paradox? The next word is rye. The next word is chronic. All right, spell normal. Your word is special. All right, spell secret. The next word is window. Can you spell plethora? The next word is telepathy. Can you spell await? Your word is pigeon. Next up, villain. Your word is favorable. The next word is parallel. Can you spell technological? All right, spell significance. All right, spell derogatory. Spell aerodynamic. Next up, translucent. Next up, residential. Spell kangaroo. Your word is atmospheric. Next up, sarcophagus. All right, spell vague. Your word is betray. The next word is bayonet. Can you spell magnificent? Spell automatic. Spell offender. Next up, burger. Spell thesis. Your word is refugee. The next word is refrain. Next up, subsidy. Can you spell 20? Spell excellent. The next word is overdue. The next word is refrain. Spell 20. Your word is formidable. Spell warrior. The next word is embassy. All right, spell seldom. The next word is gibberish. Your word is bronchitis. Next up, elaborate. Can you spell stereotype? Can you spell pomegranate? Can you spell catalog? Spell asthma. Spell solidarity. Next up, juxtaposition. Spell lather. The next word is appetite. Can you spell ionize? Can you spell villain? Spell secret. Your word is remarkable. Next up, voluntary. Spell center. Your word is telepathy. The next word is breakthrough. Spell tangerine. Spell strategic. Next up, pigeon. The next word is abolish. Your word is bamboo. Spell semicircle. Can you spell gallant? The next word is refugee. Next up, crowd. Can you spell gradual? All right, spell zygote. Your word is portfolio. Next up, opaque. Your word is pestilence. Your word is charisma. All right, spell exponential. Can you spell articulate? The next word is periodically. The next word is hypothesis. Can you spell probably? The next word is chronic. Can you spell heresy? Can you spell bizarre? The next word is quill. The next word is queen. Next up, frolic. All right, spell lactose. All right, spell gazebo. Your word is anatomical. Spell betray. Next up, automatic. All right, spell dilate. Can you spell special? Next up, offender. Can you spell liable? Spell alliance. All right, spell chicken. The next word is diesel. Next up, alphabet. Your word is reincarnation. All right, spell resilience. Spell notorious. The next word is legendary. Your word is thesaurus. Your word is embarrassment. The next word is indifference. The next word is spokesperson. All right, spell recipient. Spell surrogate. All right, spell plenipotentiary. Can you spell armor? All right, spell password. Your word is abstract. Your word is firefighter. Next up, scrutiny. Your word is bayonet. The next word is immobilize. Your word is circle. Your word is uncomfortable. Spell dolphin. All right, spell concentration. Spell integrity. Next up, excellent. All right, spell albeit. Next up, sniffle. Next up, subsidy. Next up, plethora. Next up, normal. Your word is akin. All right, spell transaction. Next up, chlorophyll. Your word is technological. Spell aerodynamic. The next word is accomplishment. All right, spell violation. Can you spell worthwhile? Spell caustic. All right, spell benevolence. All right, spell proclamation. Next up, commodity. Can you spell Machiavellian? Machiavellian. The next word is comeuppance. Your word is discombobulate. Next up, neuroplasticity. Can you spell psychological? Next up, obfuscation. Obfuscation. Spell agnostic. The next word is window. All right, spell thesis. Next up, magnificent. Next up, tremendous. All right, spell debris. Spell broccoli. Spell rye. Spell absence. Next up, furious. The next word is familiar. Spell pursuit. Can you spell cooking? Can you spell obesity? All right, spell meditate. Next up, paradox. Can you spell oasis? Your word is walnut. All right, spell vague. All right, spell lightning. Spell favorable. All right, spell inhabitant. Your word is cognitive. The next word is derogatory. Your word is passionate. The next word is accumulation. Accumulation. Next up, ricochet. Next up, syllable. Can you spell fluorescent? Your word is supposedly. All right, spell agoraphobic. Your word is burger. Next up, flavor. Next up, guideline. Spell curious. Spell powder. The next word is await. Your word is syntax. Next up, congratulate. Can you spell meditate? Next up, lightning. The next word is probably. Spell refugee. Next up, diesel. The next word is gallant. Spell await. Can you spell normal? Next up, uncomfortable. Can you spell window? Spell dilate. Your word is semicircle. Your word is biography. Spell personnel. Can you spell euphoria? Can you spell steadfast? The next word is controversial. Spell methodology. Spell cognitive. All right, spell transparency. All right, spell heritage. The next word is password. Your word is walnut. The next word is seldom. Your word is oasis. The next word is ionize. Your word is refrain. Your word is broccoli. Spell circle. Your word is liable. Can you spell furious? The next word is breakthrough. Can you spell frolic? Can you spell scrutiny? Your word is congratulate. Next up, plethora. All right, spell magnificent. The next word is pursuit. The next word is powder. The next word is thesis. All right, spell syntax. Spell abscond. The next word is portfolio. Spell articulate. Your word is adolescent. All right, spell worthwhile. All right, spell sapphire. Can you spell abdomen? The next word is inhabitant. The next word is humanitarian. Can you spell dauntless? Spell kaleidoscope. All right, spell rambunctious. Next up, telepathy. Your word is bamboo. Your word is akin. Your word is agnostic. Spell tangerine. Can you spell albeit? Your word is flavor. Your word is vague. All right, spell guideline. All right, spell queen. The next word is abolish. The next word is overdue. Can you spell automatic? The next word is immobilize. Next up, betray. The next word is heresy. All right, spell strategic. Next up, secret. Your word is burger. Spell paradox. All right, spell fictitious. The next word is negotiation. Next up, beneficiary. Beneficiary. The next word is independence. All right, spell cuisine. Your word is ricochet. All right, spell flamboyant. Can you spell bizarre? All right, spell transaction. Can you spell lactose? Can you spell warrior? Can you spell absence? Next up, chronic. All right, spell voluntary. All right, spell familiar. All right, spell lather. The next word is formidable. Your word is 20. Your word is appetite. Next up, crowd. Next up, armor. The next word is rye. All right, spell integrity. Spell alphabet. Your word is quill. Spell anatomical. The next word is alliance. The next word is assumption. All right, spell wholeheartedly. Next up, periodically. Next up, misconception. Next up, microorganism. All right, spell kangaroo. Can you spell forthcoming? Next up, understand. Can you spell intermission? Your word is Wednesday. Can you spell pygmy? Can you spell prestigious? All right, spell Machiavellian. Spell pigeon. The next word is remarkable. All right, spell dolphin. Can you spell center? Your word is excellent. Your word is tremendous. Spell villain. Next up, curious. Next up, concentration. All right, spell embassy. Can you spell obesity? Can you spell offender? The next word is debris. Your word is bayonet. Spell firefighter. All right, spell special. Next up, abstract. Your word is gradual. All right, spell chicken. Your word is gazebo. Can you spell shareholder? All right, spell surrogate. Surrogate. Next up, bronchitis. Next up, predominantly. Next up, reliability. Your word is expenditure. All right, spell chlorophyll. Next up, cooking. Your word is subsidy. All right, spell sniffle. Can you spell oasis? All right, spell uncomfortable. Spell concentration. All right, spell sniffle. Can you spell pigeon? The next word is refrain. Spell broccoli. Next up, thesis. Spell frolic. Spell dilate. Spell vague. Spell Spell debris. Next up,
Rye.
next up,
Ionize.
your word is subsidy. Your word is walnut. All right, spell transaction. Spell heresy. Heresy. Next up,
Window.
spell furious. Your word is gazebo. The next word is breakthrough. Can you spell absence? The next word is bamboo. All right, spell strategic. Your word is bizarre. Your word is
Telepathy.
next up,
Gradual.
all right, spell
Diesel.
spell
Gallant.
next up,
Bayonet.
your word is curious. Your word is seldom. Next up,
Center.
the next word is alphabet. Can you spell alliance? Next up, magnificent. Can you spell
Queen.
your word is firefighter? Can you spell
Tangerine.
All right, spell.
Chicken.
Your word is refugee. Spell.
20.
Spell obesity. Your word is flavor. Spell abolish. Can you spell
Microorganism.
next up?
Limousine.
Next up?
Aspiration.
Can you spell
Procrastinate.
next up?
Encore.
Your word is commodity. Your word is ideological. Your word is
Steadfast.
next up?
Gibberish.
Next up? Surveillance. Your word is betray. All right, spell congratulate. All right, spell integrity. Next up,
Syntax.
the next word is
Lightning.
your word is
Special.
the next word is password. Spell
Semicircle.
your word is
Lather.
next up.
Secret.
Can you spell abstract? Next up,
Crowd.
all right, spell
Excellent.
your word is
Burger.
your word is
Quill.
the next word is
Villain.
spell
Anatomical.
the next word is albeit. All right, spell remarkable. Spell
Circle.
can you spell negotiation? All right, spell solidarity. Can you spell caustic? Next up, assumption. Next up, optimism. Next up, accomplishment. Can you spell derogatory? Your word is embarrassment. Spell understand. Spell hypothesis. Your word is comeuppance. The next word is voluntary. Can you spell normal? Can you spell pursuit? The next word is dolphin. The next word is overdue. The next word is paradox. All right, spell meditate. The next word is armor. The next word is offender. Your word is scrutiny. All right, spell tremendous. Spell familiar. Your word is await. All right, spell plethora. Next up, lactose. Spell powder. Spell appetite. The next word is automatic. All right, spell chronic. Can you spell cooking? Can you spell diplomatic? All right, spell favorable. The next word is elaborate. Next up, sachet. Spell nonplussed. Nonplussed. Your word is resilience. Resilience. Spell mathematician. Your word is agnostic. Next up,
liable.
all right, spell
Formidable.
spell warrior. Your word is
Probably.
spell guideline. Guideline. All right, spell
Immobilize.
all right, spell embassy. Spell
Quill.
spell abstract. All right, spell subsidy. Next up, refugee. Spell frolic. Next up, dilate. All right, spell
Lather.
all right, spell transaction. All right, spell
Tangerine.
your word is
Gradual.
the next word is scrutiny. Can you spell
Agnostic.
all right, spell recipient. All right, spell
Opaque.
the next word is predominantly. Your word is
Flamboyant.
your word is practitioner. All right, spell
Bronchitis.
the next word is unprecedented. Spell
Chicken.
can you spell albeit? The next word is
Lactose.
next up.
Overdue.
Can you spell meditate? All right, spell pigeon. Next up,
Immobilize.
all right, spell bizarre. Your word is
Probably.
your word is
Concentration.
spell password. Next up,
Lightning.
spell
Anatomical.
all right, spell warrior. All right, spell
Syntax.
Can you spell
Excellent.
your word is
Cooking.
spell obesity? Can you spell absence? The next word is
Uncomfortable.
next up,
Thesaurus.
spell
Ricochet.
spell
Heritage.
your word is assumption. Spell separation. Spell
Cuisine.
all right, spell
Zygote.
all right, spell
Hornswoggle.
the next word is beneficiary. Next up,
Encore.
all right, spell
Clandestine.
the next word is
Kaleidoscope.
the next word is
Gobbledygook.
the next word is
Compunction.
all right, spell
Brucellosis.
spell chronic. Next up,
Formidable.
can you spell betray? The next word is
Familiar.
your word is integrity. Can you spell
Walnut.
spell
Semicircle.
next up,
Dolphin.
your word is breakthrough. Your word is
Paradox.
the next word is embassy. Spell congratulate. Your word is voluntary. All right, spell
20.
all right, spell
Secret.
the next word is
Special.
all right, spell
Crowd.
your word is offender. All right, spell
Automatic.
Can you spell
Villain.
next up?
Chlorophyll.
Spell
Epiphany.
next up?
Abdomen.
Spell revelation. The next word is
Adolescent.
can you spell
Champagne.
the next word is
Derogatory.
your word is
Steadfast.
the next word is
Peppermint.
your word is
Hourglass.
your word is
Pygmy.
your word is nauseous. Your word is
Deleterious.
all right, spell handkerchief. The next word is
Lexicography.
your word is solipsis. Your word is
Armor.
all right, spell
Queen.
spell tremendous. Your word is
Window.
can you spell
Gallant.
your word is strategic. All right, spell thesis. Your word is abolish. Your word is
Bayonet.
spell
Normal.
spell
Burger.
can you spell guideline? Can you spell
Rye.
can you spell appetite? The next word is magnificent. The next word is
Gazebo.
spell flavor. Can you spell alphabet? Your word is alliance. Your word is
Sniffle.
next up.
Reincarnation.
Next up. technological,